Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's been a little bit. Work has been pretty crazy, but I think we're kind of back to normal. So we're going to get back into making some videos. I'm going to do videos of what I'm working on right now. There's no real rhyme or reason to it. It's just what I need to do at the moment. I need some window screens replaced, and I actually need to build a window screen frame. So we're going to start with the replacement, and we'll see how long the video is. Maybe 2 videos, but I haven't shot it yet, so we'll see how it comes out. And hopefully this helps you out. I know it's a little late in the summer, but this is as soon as I could get to it. So let's get into it. Okay, so we're going to get into a screen replacement. Got a couple things going on. I'm going to replace the screen in this frame. I was going to replace the screen in this frame, except that I discovered this was bent, so I'm just kind of using this as a sample. And I'm going to keep this frame so I can, in probably the next video, I'm going to make another frame that's going to match this out of some material that I bought. But for our replacement, you're going to need screen. This is fiberglass window screen. It's 36-inch by 84-inch roll. This one recommends that you use 0.14 to 0.175 inch spline size. Here's my spline. This is a 0.14 inch spline. If you have the old spline and it's in good shape, you can reuse it. I got new stuff just because it's a little bit simpler. Sometimes they get a little old and crusty. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to remove the spline from this old screen. So what you need to do is you need to find the corner of it or an end of it. And you can use something to get the thing started. Once you do, pull on the spline, pull it right out of the groove. Pull the screen out. Sometimes the screen might be a little sticky in there. You might have to pry it out with a screwdriver. Toss that. So that's how to remove it. The next thing we're going to do is you want to secure your frame down. The tape in all the corners, in this, because it's a big frame, I even taped the middle. This piece of tape doesn't do much for its movement this way, but it keeps it from moving this way. Same thing with this one. It doesn't do much this way, but it does this way. So by having 2 on there, it helps keep this secure so it's not moving around. The other thing I wanted to do, I measured these to make sure that from the outside edge to this centerpiece, it's like a spreader that keeps the edges of this frame from collapsing when the screen gets pulled taut. And so you want to measure from here to here, measure from here to here, make sure that this is in the middle. You might double check and make sure this is going to fall behind the sash so that you don't see this when the screen is in place and the window's closed. You don't have this in your opening. One thing to be sure of when you're putting this tape on is to make sure that that tape is not covering the groove for the spline, because that'll interfere with putting the screen in. On this frame, I've got these little spring-loaded retention clips, so I don't need the pull tabs. The pull tabs you would put in the spline groove That's this little guy. And you would put it in the groove on the side that's going to be open towards the room. So these things have to be open towards the room so that you can take the screen out from inside. Now, you want to be careful when you open this. Don't cut the screen. I'm just using the knife to get it started. And now, we're going to take the screen, and we're going to roll it out. Ooh, and that is close. That is very close to making it. Normally you want about 1 inch outside of the frame. I'm not going to have that much on this, but it'll still be enough. It's still wider. So what we're doing now is taping 2 sides. I'm going to leave a little excess here, and I'm going to tape this down. Tape that down. And I'm taping this edge. Make sure we keep enough over here. And when you're stretching this, you want to stretch it gently. If you pull too hard, you'll create too much tension and it'll make this frame warp, especially if you don't have the spreader. The sides will curve in, and then when you put it in place, bugs are going to go right around it. So once you get this taped on 2 sides, you run the spline on the opposite sides. I don't know if this is enough, but we're going to see. Got our spline roller. And if it makes it easier, you can trim this to length first. Give yourself about 1 inch past the frame. Now we're starting on the opposite side of the tape. We're going to go this way and then go down the side opposite the tape that we've held it down with. That'll give you gentle tension on this. And I'm taking the round edge of the roller and I'm putting it in here, keeping just gentle tension with my fingers outside of the frame. So here you can see I'm using the rounded side of the spline roller to gently press the screen into the groove. Then I'll take the spline, lay it on top, and now I'm going to use the grooved wheel of the spline roller to press the spline down into place. Starting out, just getting it set down in the groove, and then I'll go back and press it firmly in afterwards. I put that into the corner using the grooved side of the spline. I'm going to work the spline down in, and the first pass I just sort of push it in to get it started. But I'm really only going into the groove part way. And then you want to go back over and make sure it's pushed all the way down in that groove so it doesn't pop out on you. So I'm working my way around. You want to make sure that you work the edges opposite the tape
that has the screen secured first. That lets you keep it pulled as tight as you want. But again, you have to be careful not to pull this too tight, especially because I don't have the extra screen that I would hope for. So I barely have about a 1/2 inch on both sides. Because as you push that spline down into the groove, it's pulling the screen and creating tension on the screen side, and it's pulling in some of the excess on that side. And I'm careful to not pinch the screen as I'm working the roller around. And as you go over any pins or anything that go through the groove, just let the spline ride up and over them. It doesn't have to be pressed down perfectly tight, as long as it's in firmly enough that it's not going to pop out. If you feel like it, you could cut it on either side, but I've done it without doing that, and I've never had any problems so far.
Cut this. Oops. Don't cut your screen. You'll be sad. And I will use a small screwdriver to push the corners down, because the wheel doesn't quite get in there on the splining tool. Sharp utility knife. Slide that knife right along the edge, the outside edge of the spline. To be careful when you cut around the corners, make sure everything's cut so when you pull you don't unravel the screen.
Okay, as I work my way around this screen, you want to be very careful, because one slip up and you can ruin the whole project by cutting on the wrong side of that spline. So take your time, and if I was smarter, I would have taken the tape off and spun this screen around, because once the screen is fitted in place, the frame can be moved. So you can take the tape off, spin it around, get it into a more convenient spot to work so that you don't make a mistake.
And we have a window screen. Yep, it's probably pulled a bit tight, but I think it's going to work better than the one that I had. So, in the next video, we'll go over putting together a frame out of parts that you can get at the hardware store, and you can make a frame and replace your own screens. So, thanks for watching. Hope you can join us next time. Take care.